Welcome to Our Communiversity Today, sponsored by Pendleton Community Bank and Cucumber and Company, a community affairs program from West Virginia University Institute of Technology in Beckley, hosted by Dr. T. Ramon Stuart, president of West Virginia University Institute of Technology, working to make a difference in Southern West Virginia. Guest opinions expressed on this program may not represent the opinions of West Virginia University Institute of Technology, Southern Communications, or its sponsors. And now, with today's program, here's Dr. Stewart.
Welcome to Our Communiversity Today. I'm Dr. Ramon Stuart, president of WVU Tech here in Beckley, and I'm thankful that you chose to be with us today as we explore Our Communiversity. Ladies and gentlemen, I remind you each week that I believe that the community is the university and the university is the community. And so it's my privilege and honor to come with you each Sunday to talk about how we can work together for the purpose of not only doing better, but also being better. And with that in mind, I think about the journey of tech from Montgomery to here in Beckley. And I think about the transformation that has been made on these hallowed grounds here on campus, from the College of West Virginia to Mountain State to UC, and now your hometown, WVU Tech Golden Bears. And one person that was instrumental in that journey or that transition was Rob Moyer, who serves as the Director of Facilities Management at WVU Tech. We're going to talk about that journey. We're going to talk about the past, the present, but most importantly, the future of your university. So as we explore this topic today, please remember, we always try to ask and answer two questions, and that's simply, why not us? And also, why not now? So right after this break, we'll be back with more Our Communiversity Today on News Talk WWNR.
Bank with purpose and Golden Bear pride at Pendleton Community Bank. Our WVU Tech Affinity debit card does more than make purchases. It makes a difference. Every swipe supports the William Bill Benn Student Success Fund, helping WVU Tech students facing financial hardships stay on track to achieve their dreams. Show your school spirit and help shape the future, one transaction at a time. Visit yourbank.bank to get started today. Pendleton Community Bank, here for students, here for community, here for you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Discover WVU Tech right in your backyard. With 6 ABET accredited engineering programs ranked among the top 100 for engineering and nursing nationwide, WVU Tech offers the best return on investment in West Virginia. Our small, supportive campus is home to high-demand programs in fields like hospitality and culinary, chemical forensics, and the only 4-year construction management degree in West Virginia. Learn more about all the exciting things happening at Tech at wvutech.edu today.
If you want a real cool website, I'll tell you what to do. Call them cats at Cucumber and they'll build a site for you. Our people are so friendly and our updates are the fastest. All it's gonna cost $100 plus taxes.
These cats build, host, and update for just $100 a month.
Oh yeah!
Find out how at 304-250-0123 or at cucumberandcompany.com.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity Today. Again, we're visiting with Rob Moyer, who serves as the Director of Facilities Management at WVU Tech, to discuss his particular role and how he helped bring tech to Beckley. Rob, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, President.
Oh, my goodness. He didn't call me by my business
Okay, T.
name. Okay, there you go. I like that. You know, Rob, it's it's very unique when you look at where we are and different things like that and the transition, but you don't get here just overnight. Tell us a little bit about yourself in general, Rob, and what kind of things you've done to prepare to lead now.
Sure. Well, I grew up in Northwest Indiana, between Gary and Chicago, actually right next to where the Bears made me be moving in Hammond, Indiana. So
Rob and I are both Chicago Bears fans. Don't hold that against
That's
us.
right. I grew up there, went to school at Purdue University, Calumet, which is a regional campus of the Big Ten school system of Purdue. I also worked there as a student worker and brought back into the facility facilities role after I was graduating. So I had spent about 8 years in the Purdue system doing facilities type work. And then there was a role that I was interested in up in the Morgantown campus. And luckily I was successful and got that, and spent almost 12 years in the planning office in Morgantown. And as I was looking through my career and looking at my family situation, my father had passed, and was trying to figure out a way to get closer to my mother in southern Indiana, and saw that there was an opportunity as a facilities person at the Tech campus. And I thought that would be interesting. And then at the same time, I knew that there was talks about moving the campus. And I'm like, when in your lifetime could you ever have an opportunity to do something so unique? So, gosh, it's probably 11 years now. I've helped with that transition, and I'm staying on, and it's been an exciting decade or more here at the Tech campus.
Absolutely. Now, I got to go back real quick. Yeah. You talked about Mama Moyer. Shameless plug there, Mama Moyer. I love having her and the other residents of Greystone, the assisted living community out there in Beaver. They come to our athletic events. They sit courtside with me, and they just cheer on. They come in their gold and blue, and it seems like it breathes life into them. So shout out to Mama Moyer. We here. We looking forward to basketball season. Okay, now back to you, Rob. Okay, right. I got to come down a little bit and everything. Mama Moyer, you're going to be happy.
That's right. What a shout out.
Yes. And all the residents at Greystone.
Yes.
Those are my people. And I think that's a good thing that we can do, is where we bring them to the games and they interact with our young people and they get motivated, and that little courtside experience, it's like they're competing with Spike Lee at the Garden.
Yes, they are.
What I mean?
They got their blue and gold pom-poms. You know that.
Yeah, and the Knicks finally won one or whatever. So we got to bring a championship here to Beckley, and then it'll be good. But you talked about your experience, Indiana, Purdue, that kind of stuff. And you get that experience as a student and then a student worker. I think that's so important, because a lot of times people think that in higher education, we're just committed to A's, B's, and C's. But you were able to simultaneously acquire the A's, B's, and C's and couple it with the practical. So the theoretical and the practical. What did that do for your growth and development?
Oh, yeah, that was instrumental. I was a draftsman back in the day when we were using paper and pencil. I started with some AutoCAD too, but as I was going for my undergraduate degree, I was a student worker for 20 hours in the facilities department. I was helping with drawings and campus maps and different things like that. And as I was going through the 4 years, I was actually able to work all 4 years with them. And as I graduated, I was getting ready to continue and do some stuff with some custom homes. And the vice president at the time actually called me and said, "Hey, I think we're going to be releasing your old boss. We want you to come back and put your resume in and come and take your old role, your old supervisor's role." And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I was one of the youngest directors at the time at the Purdue campus, because I came straight out of college as a manager in planning. So, and I couldn't have done it without my years of education, and then actually the hands-on application of what I was learning in the job market at the same time. So either working on campus in a role or a function, or summer interns, I think you have to do that. You're just going to get a leg up on anyone else in the market if you had the opportunity to go school and practical application while you're still learning.
Yeah, and I think that's important. And one of the things I like that we do at WVU Tech, our students do meaningful internships. They do them through the summer. They do them throughout the year, working with our various partners. And I think that's the difference I see in us and many institutions. And I think that's why we have the #1 return on investment of any 4-year college in the state of West Virginia. And so when you look at that, heavy is the head that wears the crown. You're the youngest director. You got a lot of different things going on. How did you embrace that responsibility?
Oh, yeah, you have to at least take it by the reins and you learn. Sometimes you learn by mistakes, sometimes you learn by successes. But education is not a 4-year deal. It is something that you have to continue to learn, either through books, through your conferences, but you need to continue to learn in some manner, and some growth throughout the entire process. It took me years. It was probably about 4 years after my undergraduate that I decided to go back for my master's, because I was getting more and more involved with business and accounting and things like that, and realized, hey, I think I need to get this extra level of degree to be more successful in the future. And so you just have to continue to keep learning, book smarts or hands-on or something, to keep things moving along and keep everything fresh and new.
Keep on keeping on. So that opportunity, again, the theoretical, the practical, accenting that with a graduate degree that focuses on business and really the finances, because all of this comes down to one thing: it's just money. And but those things led you took some country roads, and it brought you to Morgantown.
Yes, yeah.
What were some of the things you did when you were in Morgantown in terms of roles and responsibilities?
Well, that function, I was the head of the planning department. So up there are kind of two sides. You do the planning and programming. So
hold on, you took Sunnyside from me.
I was up there when Sunnyside was removed. See, and
you took
refreshed,
Sunnyside from me.
Let's just say.
I never burned the couch.
Yes, that's right. So my office I worked with the senior leadership on the master planning, and then also anytime we worked on a large project, let's say a new ag sciences building or new engineering building, my office would just do the planning, the programming, and then working with the architects to come up with the design, and then we'd hand it off once that part is complete to the construction side of the shop. But I probably worked on, in my 11, 12 years, probably over $1 billion worth of design and construction projects that were invoked during that tenure.
$1 billion with a B.
$1 billion with a B.
A big B.
A big B.
Big
yes,
B, like
yes.
9 zeros.
That's right.
Billion. What is your most memorable project then?
Oh, goodness.
To that point.
I'd have to say at the time, looking at Brooks Hall, it was a building down on the downtown campus, and we were doing some new technology with the geology department, I believe it was, and it had the AR kind of cameras and the binoculars or whatever you want to call them, the screens that you put over your eyes. But that was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. It's not like today where everybody's walking around with Google goggles and different things like that. This was the first time that was a real technology. And to see a room that was built just for that technology where you could walk around and see 3D, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Least favorite project?
Oh, anything that you have to redo. I can't tell you the number of projects that you do and you're excited for, and then in 8 years the program changes and they have to tear everything down and put up something new, and you're like, oh, I remembered when I did that project so many years ago. So it's not one that I didn't like. It was just that, you put your effort into it, and at the time it's a great idea and a great project, but things change.
Ladies and gentlemen, in studio with us, Rob Moyer, Director of Facility Management at WVU Tech. We're going to take a short break, so stick with News Talk WWNR for more Our Communiversity Today.
Discover WVU Tech right in your backyard. With 6 ABET accredited engineering programs ranked among the top 100 for engineering and nursing nationwide, WVU Tech offers the best return on investment in West Virginia. Our small, supportive campus is home to high-demand programs in fields like hospitality and culinary, chemical forensics, and the only 4-year construction management degree in West Virginia. Learn more about all the exciting things happening at Tech at wvutech.edu today.
If you want a real cool website, I'll tell you what to do. Call them cats at Cucumber and they'll build a site for you. Our people are so friendly and our updates are the fastest. All it's gonna cost $100 plus taxes.
These cats build, host, and update for just $100 a month.
Oh yeah!
Find out how at 304-250-0123 or at cucumberandcompany.com.
Bank with purpose and Golden Bear pride. At Pendleton Community Bank, our WVU Tech Affinity debit card does more than make purchases. It makes a difference. Every swipe supports the William Bill Benn Student Success Fund, helping WVU Tech students facing financial hardships stay on track to achieve their dreams. Show your school spirit and help shape the future, one transaction at a time. Visit yourbank.bank to get started today. Pendleton Community Bank, here for students, here for community, here for you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity Today. Again, we are visiting with Rob Moyer, who is the Director of Facilities Management here at WVU Tech. And, you know, one of the things I liked in the opening segment related to Rob is, again, him coupling the theoretical from his studies with his practical work as a student worker to a young director to more than a decade in Morgantown. And I think all of those things are what I call the Karate Kid moment, where you're waxing on, waxing off, or painting the fence. You're learning how to do what you need done. And so, Rob, one of your biggest things, a big task that you took on, is you became the Director of Facility Management at WVU Tech. How and when did you bump your head?
Yeah. I can tell you the number of people in Morgantown that ask why. And again, as I mentioned, there's a lot of different reasons. One, it was a new challenge. At the time, I didn't know where else in Morgantown I wanted to do or be. And I wanted to get back to mom, closer to mom, and cut 2 hours off the drive, that kind of stuff. And ultimately, she ended up moving with us. But it all came together. And as you may know, or the audience may know, that we started to undertake the change in the move of the tech campus from Montgomery to Beckley. And that is a once in probably, I don't even want to say generation, because I believe it has only happened twice.
Yeah, let's put this into context. You know, prior to the move about a decade ago, there was only one other instance of an institution of American higher education moving campuses. And it's just this little Peasley little institution down in North Carolina called Wake Forest. And you see what the Demon Deacons have done in growth and prosperity. So, you know, you go to Montgomery and, you know, you prepare for a transition, a move. In many ways, it's not far away. But at the same rate, it's not like you're moving a 2,000 square foot home or something like that. How do you prepare for something?
Yeah, the logistics on that was staggering. I actually spent the first year, 2015, in the planning mode, which, again, as I mentioned, is my background in Morgantown. So I was actually working on the planning, trying to figure out what buildings are useful, what can we put in these various buildings, what would fit from Montgomery to Beckley, and where the deficiencies were. And it was evident early on that we needed to work on some more spaces for engineering. And as a part of the first phase of the project was to look at building a new engineering lab building for all of kind of the dirty spaces, the construction management, the Baja, concrete canoe building, all of that. Along with, we completely renovated the inside of the physical sciences building for the chemistry labs and the physics labs. And then we also did some other renovations in the classroom building. But that first year was the planning, designing, getting the architect on board, and starting that construction of those phases so that we were able to move the departments in the future. And we ended up in 2015 doing that. In 2016, we ended up looking at the arts and sciences programs and move those folks over along with some support spaces. We had actually split the campus almost in half. So you had support on both campuses doing grounds and maintenance and IT on both campuses, things like that. And then 2016, then we had the first set of classes that is dedicated to the arts and sciences programs, because we only needed classrooms and a couple computer labs and things like that. We had to wait and get all the engineering spaces completed before we could move them over in 2017.
Yeah. So a monumental feat. Do you remember approximately how many square feet of space was under facilities in Montgomery?
I don't offhand. I believe there was more square footage in Montgomery than it was here. We had an extra residence hall, and they were really spread out on that campus. But so I want to say we probably went from 600,000 or more down to about 500,000 on this campus.
And I think it's very unique when you look at the WVU Tech campus, and if we were in a bigger city, it would be an urban campus.
Yes.
Because, you know, we are nestled right in the heart of downtown Beckley. I can come out of my office and talk to the city manager or mayor, the city council. They walk by my office literally to go to their council meetings and stuff. But I don't know if people really understand how big this university is.
Yes.
And so how many square feet?
We have 23 buildings, 35 buildings if you count the houses, and 500,000 square foot.
Okay. And so when you look at that, I oftentimes talk about the economic impact of tech. You know, we do about $94.4 million annual of the economic impact. About 849 positions, many of them indirect. We have 309 that are permanent positions. So some of those indirects are you subcontracting with HVAC and electrical. And I would say your area probably not only spends the most money, but has the most amount of people there. But you when you look at that and you look at, you know, the $6.1 million we generate in taxes and stuff, you see that impact. But again, that 500,000 square feet under our kind of control or whatever, that's got to be difficult to maintain.
It can be, yes. The advantage that we did have coming here is that the age of the buildings decreased significantly or increased significantly. So we went from a lot of buildings that were 80, 90 years old to 50-year-old buildings. Now, we do have a couple like Carter Hall that's in the 100 range, but for the most part, the age of the buildings are much younger, which means they should be in better shape. And ultimately, we are in much better shape facilities-wise, grounds-wise, than we were on the Montgomery campus.
Yeah, but, you know, when you look at this land and you think of higher education and its existence here from the College of Beckley to the College of West Virginia to Mountain State to the brief period of UC and then us, you know, many people, I don't know if they realize the 500,000 square feet. And I don't know if people realize the level of investment or commitment that was made. So when you think about the innovation building upgrade, the new engineering lab, and you think about the various other upgrades, how much money was invested in bringing tech to Beckley?
I believe everyone hears and knows about the $8 million. That was actually just the purchase price of the buildings, but we had to then build and renovate those three buildings we talked about. Some of these buildings needed new equipment. We needed furniture. We needed all sorts of stuff. We had to make improvements. The moving costs themselves to have the shipping containers and the boxes and the people, I believe we're upwards of $30 million in total to pick up and move the campus and the buildings that were, and the upgrades that were associated with the project move.
So just almost a decade ago, $30 million invested in this particular area.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And that's just the move. We've since made improvements every year with repairs and maintenance and facilities. We've, you know, just this year, we're doing some improvements in our facilities for our sports teams, and we have underground sprinklers. So we continue to invest in our grounds and our buildings. That was just the initial move number.
Yeah. And so again, with all of that money, 30 million, 500,000 square feet and different things, how does that compare to, man, I don't know. What does it compare? Like, how can we totally envision it? Because when you go, we have 6,000 cars that travel down South Canal Street through the front of our campus daily. But they don't see the 500,000
Oh, no.
square feet.
Yeah. You drive past South Canal and you see the LRC building in Hogan, but you have to pull down Mel Hancock and go out down to Minnesota to see all of the buildings. Some folks are familiar with the buildings on Neville Street. Others may not know there are two buildings that we utilize at Neville Street. So we sprawl out. I don't believe some folks may know that we have the 13 different houses across campus that we're occupying. So we try and have some of our markers, our building signs, and we try and build a brand with signage and flowers and different things so that you kind of know what buildings and houses are Tech's buildings versus the neighborhood. But yeah, driving down, someone new to campus or driving by will not understand the size and scale unless they look at an aerial map and understand how far we spread.
And so speaking of that drive, one of the things I hear all the time is how pretty campus is. Hats off to you and the groundskeepers, but what is your philosophy on the beautification of campus?
I think that is the footprint and the first thing that people see. You talk about buying a house. People go buy a house by driving by first to see if they even want to come in. And the same thing to me for the campus. If we're getting new recruits, and I believe we have welcome days coming right now, those students and those parents drive to campus, we want to put our best foot forward, and that is, how do we look? Is the grass green? Are the flowers blooming? Are the buildings clean? It's not just the outside, but the insides too. And again, you say I'm the director, but my team actually has done all of the hard work. We have a small grounds team, and they knock it out of the park doing that.
Great work. Yeah.
Our maintenance teams, our cleaning teams. But to me, I like to think that we bring the wow to the campus. We want to make sure that when people come by campus, they want to come into the buildings, and we've already got a head start on the recruitment process.
Yeah, I think it was Andre Agassi that reminds us you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And so thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, again in studio, Rob Moyer, Director of Facility Management at WVU Tech. We're going to take a short break, so stick with News Talk WWNR as we close out this edition of Our Communiversity Today.
Discover WVU Tech right in your backyard. With 6 ABET accredited engineering programs ranked among the top 100 for engineering and nursing nationwide, WVU Tech offers the best return on investment in West Virginia. Our small, supportive campus is home to high-demand programs in fields like hospitality and culinary, chemical forensics, and the only 4-year construction management degree in West Virginia. Learn more about all the exciting things happening at Tech at wvutech.edu today.
Bank with purpose and Golden Bear pride at Pendleton Community Bank. Our WVU Tech Affinity debit card does more than make purchases. It makes a difference. Every swipe supports the William Bill Benn Student Success Fund, helping WVU Tech students facing financial hardships stay on track to achieve their dreams. Show your school spirit and help shape the future, one transaction at a time. Visit yourbank.bank to get started today. Pendleton Community Bank, here for students, here for community, here for you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity Today. Again, I want to thank Rob Moyer for sharing not only his time, but his talent with our listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned, there have only been 2 institutions of American higher education to switch locations. Being one of the 2, it is very, very important that we are good stewards of the resources, that we are good facilitators of this vision of Communiversity. Well, when I talk to Rob Moyer and I think about the dedication of the facilities management staff, we are partners here in this great city, in this great county, and throughout this great state. We want to meet you with a warm and inviting environment, but also be able to take you behind closed doors and meet you where you are and help you go places you've never gone. With that in mind, it's so important that we continue to support our facilities, the growth, the development, and the maturation of this space so that we can expand, so that we can grow, and provide not only high quality, but also affordable higher education to those in Southern West Virginia. So please visit wwnrradio.com for more information about this topic and how you can help build our community today for a brighter Southern West Virginia tomorrow.
You've been listening to Our Communiversity Today, sponsored by Pendleton Community Bank and Cucumber and Company, a production of West Virginia University Institute of Technology and Communiversity partner, Southern Communications in Beckley. For more on this program and contact information, visit our website at wwnrradio.com.